Hey, what you say, food family? Mike here, and welcome back to the channel for another great culinary adventure. Today we're headed down the street to the Chinese buffet and making one of my all-time favorite stir-fried dishes, bell pepper beef. Now, you're not likely to find a person in China actually enjoying this dish, but that doesn't mean the rest of us can't. So if that sounds good to you, stick around and I'll show you how it's done. Let's get cooking. Alright folks, we're going to start today's bell pepper beef recipe off by making the marinade for our beef itself. We got 6 simple ingredients in front of us, so let's go over them real quickly. First off, we got a rice cooking wine. Secondly, we got some soy sauce, just some neutral oil, today I'm using avocado, some white pepper, some cornstarch, and our final secret ingredient that's key to this recipe is baking soda. Now if you've never heard of adding baking soda to meat, it's actually a process called velveting. It seals off the outside of the meat, which retains those juices inside, so you can do a quick hot sear in a wok or in a hot pan. All the juice stays inside, the outside gets nice and crispy. That's how your local Chinese restaurant or Asian restaurant down the street is keeping their meat so nice, tender, and juicy without going to a lot of trouble. Alright, so let's get this marinade mixed up. We'll come right back and start slicing that beef. Alright folks, our marinade's ready to go, so we can turn our attention to this beef for this bell pepper beef stir fry. Now as you can see in front of me here, obviously I got 2 strips I'm going to be using today. You can use any cut of beef really, sirloin, ribeye, anything will do the trick. The key is to make sure you slice it against the grain when you break it down into small, thin, bite-sized pieces. Keep it against the grain, that leads for a better final texture and cook on your beef. So other than slicing against the grain, there's not really a whole lot else to say, so I'll start slicing. Alright folks, as you just saw there, just slice the beef against the grain, nothing fancy. I did trim off the excess fat. All we got to do is add our beef to our marinade. Alright, our marinade has coated all the beef, all those slices, mix it very well. I'm going to put the lid on it, set it to the side. 10-15 minutes is all this velveting procedure takes. Quick marinade for today's bell pepper beef stir fry. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead, prep my bell peppers, onion, garlic, everything else. When we come back, we'll start cooking our bell pepper beef stir fry. Alright folks, I did get all our veggies chopped up, prepped, ready to go. The bell pepper, the onion, the garlic, everything's chopped and ready. I almost forgot one thing before we start cooking our bell pepper beef stir fry is we need to make the stir fry sauce itself. Now as you see in front of me, there are a few familiar ingredients. We got some mirin this time instead of rice wine. You can substitute either of these back and forth. I choose to use both, one in the marinade, one in the stir fry sauce. Some more soy sauce, some oyster sauce, sugar, cornstarch, and the secret ingredient in our stir fry sauce this time is chicken bouillon powder. Believe it or not, that's the little trick to finishing off a stir fry sauce. And finally, of course, is a little bit of water. Now, today I'm going to mix all these ingredients in our measuring cup just for the sake of saving some dishes. Other than that, we'll get these mixed. We'll come right back and start searing our beef. Alright folks, it's finally time to start cooking our bell pepper beef stir fry. Now I've gone ahead and strained off our excess marinade and just letting that drip over that bowl. Our velveting procedure is done, it's done its job, it's time to cook it. Now today I'll be using just a normal hot pan. You can use a wok of course. I'm going to do this in batches. I've got some beef tallow I'm going to be using as my cooking oil. Now obviously you can use whatever cooking oil you have on hand. Avocado oil, olive oil, whatever you want to use. We're just going to sear this beef off real quick, about 1 minute per side. We don't want to overcook it. So I'm using beef tallow today just to add a little bit extra flavor, but like I said, use whatever oil you have. So I'm going to sear off this beef on each side, couple minutes, in batches. We'll come right back and start finishing off our stir fry. Alright folks, you just saw there, we cooked that meat about 1 minute per side, just enough to sear each side so the juices and all the moisture stays in. Now I've gone ahead, pulled that out, obviously we're done with that for now. Now we can move on to the veggies of our stir fry. So we're going to start out with our bell peppers. I'm going to cook these for about 2 to 3 minutes until they start to soften up before I add my onions. We'll give those another minute to 2 minutes and we'll finish off with the aromatics, the garlic and the ginger. Now I've gone ahead and added a little bit more beef tallow to my pan here since it was pretty dry. We left all that crusty stuff in the bottom. We're going to be deglazing with our stir fry sauce. So first we're going to get these veggies cooked, get those aromatics smelling delicious, and we'll be right back before we deglaze. Alright, we got those veggies softened up, those bell peppers and onions. The garlic and the ginger paste have become aromatic, smelling delicious. So let's do a quick deglaze with our stir fry sauce. Really scrape the bottom of that pan and get all those bits up. Now you probably noticed in the previous clip that it was starting to come up just from the juices from the bell peppers and onions, but I'm going to get some of that stuff back up. It looks like burnt bits, but it's actually a ton of flavor. Alright, now I'm going to add our beef back to our stir fry pan, turn the heat back on, let that cook for another 2-3 minutes just to finish cooking the beef, and let that cornstarch do its magic and start creating that thick, delicious stir fry sauce we all know and love. When we come back, I'll finish things off with some green onions and sesame oil, and it'll be time to plate and eat. Alright folks, you just saw that sauce thickened up very quickly. It only took a couple minutes. Our beef is cooked through. I still like mine medium rare. If you like yours a little more well done, then by all means cook it longer. But that being said, I'm going to finish today's bell pepper beef stir fry off with some green onions and just a drizzle of sesame oil for a little toasted nutty flavor. And that's it folks. We're going to mix this together. Let those onions start to soften up with the rest of the stir fry. And we're done. I'm going to let this cool off. We'll get everything cleaned up. I'll come back, plate it up, make it look nice and pretty. We'll give it a taste test and see how we did. Alright folks, there you have it. We have some delicious looking bell pepper beef stir fry. There's only one thing left to do now that's looking pretty, and it's give it a taste test. So let's dig in. Grab a piece of beef here and some onion. The beef is super juicy and tender, like almost like you didn't even cook it. Perfect medium rare to medium. Velvety texture, since we did that velveting procedure. Alright, so let's try the bell peppers. Perfect crunch, just softened up enough. You don't want to overcook them so they're mush, but these still have a nice bite to them. So I'm going to give one final taste test. Bell pepper, beef, onion, everything all combined with some of the sauce. We'll give it a final review. Cheers. Overall, absolutely amazing, and I don't think even my local Chinese restaurant could pull this one off this delicious. It was that simple, folks. You just saw us make it. We marinated the beef in a quick velveting marinade. Cooked those veggies off. We used that stir fry sauce. It all came together. Real quick, easy, simple dinner. The great thing about this simple stir fry recipe is you can actually tweak it to whatever you like. Now today I made it bell pepper beef. You can do that same beef marinade and cook this with broccoli, carrots, anything you want, any vegetables. You can make your own stir fry, little baby corn. It doesn't matter. The same stir fry, marinade, and cooking sauce will work the same for whatever you want to make at home yourself. If you don't like bell peppers, leave them out. If you prefer a whole bunch of corn and carrots and all that other crazy nonsense in your stir fries, by all means, throw it in there. It'll work just the same. Do the marinade, make the stir fry sauce, cook it just however you would any other stir fry, and it will come out absolutely amazing. I almost guarantee it. That being said, if you like what I made here today, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you liked or did not like about it. As always, the recipe for this particular stir fry, the base ingredients anyway, will be linked in the description below. That will take you to my website, tell you everything you need to know. If you could do me a favor and subscribe if you haven't already, that really helps me out, lets YouTube know that I'm putting out content that you want to see, and then it gives me feedback that I'm giving that kind of foods that everyone wants to learn how to cook themselves at home for their friends and their family. Other than that, Mike here signing off until next time, folks. Just keep cooking. Oh, and eating. Just keep eating, too.